But I think when people say Kazuya is super difficult, they're talking to like a beginner, maybe someone who's more on the casual side of things, or an intermediate player looking to pick up Kazuya. But for your average Joe who's just picking this stuff up, this is going to be almost impossible to execute immediately.
Hello everyone and welcome to a topic that might be a bit older, but still worth talking about, especially after the disaster that was Season 2.
Fire, ba 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 ba, yes! The middle, that wall splats.
We all know Tekken 8 has a problem with their casual player base, but it seems like no one is able to point out exact issues, and that's what we are here for. Let's start with the very thing that is coincidentally designed to help new players, but does more harm than good. Special style. Some might ask how that can be the case, and I'm about to put that into perspective for you guys. You most likely have that context as well by just asking yourself, when was the last time you saw someone with special style? What was the last highest rank you encountered it? For me, that's an easy answer. Mighty Ruler. Now, imagine you are a new player. No prior game knowledge from other games that transfer over. Toddler level new player. You are introduced to the game with special style. You get to Mighty Ruler and hit your plateau. Anyone else learned the game and or his character at least on a more fundamental level, while you are now here on that rank and probably don't even know what a jab is. So now you are basically left in purple ranks and have to relearn almost everything. If you are more competitive, you might have the spirit to relearn, but even then you are still gonna be at least pissed. On the more casual side, that's a game quitter. Games are more accessible than ever, and there are a lot of good games out there. Why would you bother relearn Tekken when the very system that is supposed to help you fucked you over? 30 minutes a day, maybe a couple of hours in total, you can game for the entire week. And that's what you're gonna deal with? Hell nah. Also, to elaborate on it not teaching you anything, if we check out Steve for example, look at what special style is teaching you. I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible. We all know Steve mainly relies on counter hits. He has a launcher, but that is more on a read. Well, not when you use special style. Up 2 is what the game is teaching you, which is phrased generously. The game isn't teaching you shit, it takes over the inputs as well. What I want to get at is this: the game lets you experience it, but doesn't teach you anything. Imagine coming out of Mighty Ruler and most likely not even knowing what the inputs for a simple jab is, which wouldn't even be your fault. Now, does it mean special style should be removed? Maybe. The intentions are well, there is just no game mod that complements special style, or matter of fact its own queue where you only play against other special style people. Also, it shouldn't be something that you can toggle on and off. But while we are at game modes, let's get back to that and talk about how there are none for casuals. But what about matchmaking? Listen, if you look at every other competitive game, there is a good reason why you can see the ranks there. Not only that, they even have a separate MMR system to differentiate between ranked and unrated. MMR system, simply put, evaluation system for your skill. It might come as a surprise, but story mode, casual friendlier, but not enough. Like I said earlier, being a casual is basically being a toddler. You are struggling to figure out basics about your own character, and having to face one different character after another doesn't leave you with much room to pay attention to yourself when all of them have their own identity. Same goes for Arcade and Tekken Ball. Last thing before we get to the solution. Content creators and the community can only help you out so much guiding new players. And when I say you, I'm talking about the developers, because it's their job to teach new players, not that of anyone else, since they can only reach so many people. It's different learning through a video and actually in-game where you learn by doing. Tekken 8 is the onion of a game with so many mechanics, and looking at special style, it feels like the layers of mechanics from older games got completely forgotten. Launcher, air combos, power crush, lows. Before all that, how about we go back to the roots and look at what Tekken was before the Tekken of now? A 2D game. How about being in range to hit someone? How about every button represents a limb? How about you need to hold back to defend? It's if as you guys design special style thinking, new players played old entries or have guaranteed game knowledge, not realizing how far this title has come. What this game needs is a proper tutorial, where you start with 2D and work yourself up on mechanics. Make it a platformer if you want to. Most importantly, a crash dummy, a common enemy type, a default mob, whatever you want to call it, that only does basic stuff. Listen, I know Mokujin created a little incident, but maybe bring him back for this one. For example, you encounter 3 Mokujins and then a mini boss type of character. When you encounter the Mokujins, they only do the basics of basics. Give new players even a heads up. Like he's about to do a high, he glows red. He's about to do a mid, he glows yellow. He's about to do a low, he glows blue. It might look reductant as an even a bit more experienced player, but as a new player you have trouble focusing even on your own controls. And Tekken is a game where everyone has their own identity, even if it's just a bot. If a more detailed blueprint on how to make a tutorial is needed, there is Josh Strife's video. He is an educational content creator whose focus was on MMOs, but his tutorial to make a tutorial can be applied to any game. The other thing holding back Tekken 8 are, to say the least, the straight up dumb business practices. From making money where they shouldn't, and I'm not talking about the battle pass, to leaving money where they shouldn't. But that would be too much for this video. I was fortunate enough that people in the Tekken community, shout out to Hisoka, picked me up and guided me through. But looking back at the raw new player / casual experience, that shit has room for a lot of improvement. I hope I could give some insights. Take care and have a nice one.